It's a part of Colorado history that's been forgotten. On November the 1st, 1955, a United Flight 629 took off from this location en route to Portland, Oregon, and then was going on to Anchorage, Alaska. A Colorado man living in Lakewood placed a bomb aboard the plane. 39 passengers, 5 crew. Everyone was unfortunately killed. The youngest victim was 14 months. He was on his way to meet his father for the first time. Those families had to live with this for the rest of their life. We felt very strongly that it was important that this be remembered and that the victims themselves. And so we're utilizing this opportunity to learn more about them as individuals, because I don't want them to be remembered for just being on the plane at the wrong time. They were much more than that. It was the second largest mass murder in the history of Colorado after the Sand Creek Massacre. The plane took off and blew up 8 miles east of what is today Longmont, receiving international attention because no one had ever done anything like this before. And because no one had ever done it, there was no federal law. So we in Denver had to try the case locally.
It was this sort of horrific watershed event in aviation history, and it really shaped how airport safety protocols were done in the future. Things like insurance for flights. Back then, you could just go to a vending machine in the airport and purchase life insurance. And that's what happens in this case, where the perpetrator actually purchases life insurance for his mother and then puts a bomb on her plane. The luggage in which the bomb was hidden, back then there's no x-rays. There's all these airport security protocols we see today. Those come along much later, and United 629 is looked at as an example of why those protocols are needed. Following the explosion, the crash investigation, that also sets standards for how the FBI investigates crashes. So they actually take the debris from the plane and bring it back down to Denver and rebuild the crash site in an airport hangar. And that's how they're able to discover the exact location of the bomb, the suitcase in which the bomb was used, and ultimately find the perpetrator. And that's used in subsequent crash investigations as a model for how people can investigate these things. And then finally, courtroom photography and video. Colorado sets a precedent when Judge Otto Moore decides it should be up to the judge whether they allow photography or video. Before that, there was a prohibition, a ban on photo or video in the courtroom.
The trial, lasted for a few weeks. They quickly came back with a verdict of guilty. He was sentenced to death in Canyon City, and he was executed in January of 1957.
I think it's important for people to see their stories in museum spaces like this, because it kind of shows our lives matter, our loved ones' lives matter. And I hope when they see the exhibition that they're moved and that we did the story of their loved ones justice. So Marion Poppelmeyer was an incredible asset in developing the exhibition. She was the daughter of one of the passengers on the flight, and Marion wrote a fantastic book about her struggle growing up without a father. She was just a baby when her father got on that flight. Marion was able to loan some of the objects from her father.
One of the things I brought was a jacket. It's what my mom made out of their wedding outfit. And I couldn't be more pleased because I think it's pretty honor. It's just one story that represents 43 others. But it's one story that let people know that crime and crime investigation is fine, but there's always the families that are left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives.
These were people with full, meaningful lives, with struggles and hopes, and they each carried dreams when they boarded that flight.
The Police Museum has kind of taken the lead role to work with History Colorado, the Cell, Wings Over the Rockies, to tell a story about United Flight 629. We have a team of volunteers who do ancestry work. We've been working for about 2.5, 3 years, going through ancestry to find the descendants of the victims.
I've been doing genealogy research as a hobby for over 45 years. So for this project in particular, I created 39 family trees of the victims, plus 5 for the crew who died, plus about a half dozen more of other people who were involved. I think Mike and the Denver Police Museum, law enforcement in general, and then this project in particular are just causes. And I'm willing to allocate my time to do something because I think it's meaningful for the people I am able to touch.
We're going to dedicate a memorial, and the memorial will be right at the entrance of the tower. So as people come and go, here for many years, they'll see this memorial. We have produced a special challenge coin. What I wanted to do with the memorial is to be able to tell the families that this memorial came from the everyday citizens of Colorado. And that's exactly what's happened. I mean, we've had a number of people from all walks of life purchase the coin. The it's all profit, so it goes right into the fund to, again, pay for the memorial and pay for the activities honoring the victims.
Stay elevated by subscribing to the city's YouTube page and stay tuned to our social media channels for more content. Don't miss our new episodes of Elevating Denver, premiering each month. Thanks for watching, Denver.